Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the G-Hole Podcast. This is Ray DeVito. I'm one of the co-hosts, and today, man, we have a fun one. We have Kareem Green on. He's a very funny comedian. Check him out on Twitter at KareemGreen, and that's got links to his website and everything. And yeah, we get into more comedy beefs, if you believe it. He actually joins like 20 minutes into the podcast, and we get into. Yeah, he gets here late, so Bob and I we start off, we hear about Bob's comedy beefs, so we get into that. Also check out our sponsor, silkcityhotsauce.com. Go there, put in the G-Hole, you get 6 sauces for $35 plus free cherry sriracha and a bunch of stickers. And yeah, we have a good time. Yeah, have fun, man. Check me out on Twitter at Ray DeVito, Bob at Bob_Biggerstaff, and enjoy. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. What's going on, Bob? How are you, buddy? It looks like it's just me and you right now. How's that make you feel?
Well, I mean, I've stepped up to a G-hole by myself before, so
now it's a team effort. You and me together at the.
So just you and I've never G-holed with you. Well, I have.
Yeah, we have
the podcast. Yeah. I know I'm being dirty.
Oh, it is what it is.
G-hole.
Explain what happened, man. Bob's got to see me have a meltdown yesterday. My laptop, the camera didn't work, and I didn't know if I had to replace everything on my computer or what. So, yeah, you saw me have an anxiety attack, right?
It wasn't. I've seen worse.
From me?
I've seen worse from you.
Nah, dude, I got these anxiety attacks. They're not fun, dude. They're not fun. I get all stressed out. I get all like.
I can imagine, but you found out that it's only you know, you ended up buying people. If you watch the video, you can, Ray is using a brand new laptop camera that he got.
Yeah. My camera's not working on the laptop. That's what freaked me out.
Some sort of short in the screen. If anybody listening to this knows anything about laptop cameras on a MacBook Pro, you have offer any advice. Ray looked on YouTube and seems to think, which he's probably right, is that it's some sort of short in the connector, but you can't open any Apple shit up. They make it so you can't fix anything yourself.
Well, here's what's weird. Like if I open my computer up just a little bit, I know people with video can see this, if not, but you open it just a little bit, like 20-degree angle, it works. But anything past 20-degree angle, the camera doesn't work. It just turns off. And I was watching something on YouTube, and they're basically saying it's a connector's bad, and the only way to fix it, you have to replace the entire screen, which is like $900. And
yeah.
So that was freaking me out. But everything else on it works fine. So I just went out, bought an external camera. Yeah. And that's what we're doing.
Your microphone sounds a little, I don't know if it's hot or.
A little hot. If I hold it down here, is it fine?
Yeah, that's better.
That's better? All right.
Try that.
Okay. Is it better? It's
a little, yeah, it's better.
Okay.
I can still hear you fine.
I was just too close to my mouth before.
You talk loud. Yeah, it's okay.
I know.
So I just got back from Texas. I was in Houston, Texas last week, trying to help my dad go to the dentist, and got to the dentist, and my dad was supposed to have some teeth pulled because my dad's got ALS and he can't brush his teeth very well. So they want to pull a lot of his top teeth so he can get dentures. And we take my dad to the dentist, and as he's filling out a paper, the guy says, okay, this paper is, this signature is authorizing us to pull out these top teeth. And he goes, what? You're not pulling out any teeth. So after about an hour of going back and forth, just took him home. He didn't get any. So I got a free trip to Texas to visit my girlfriend, because that was like the second day. I got there on the 5th, and that was on the 6th. And I was there till the 11th. So got to hang out with my girlfriend. It was fun. I didn't really go anywhere, so I went to one restaurant. People were like this, a place called King's Beer House, for it's Sausage Fest at this restaurant for the month of August. So for like $13, you can have all you can eat of like these 12 different sausages they have. And I went with a couple of friends of mine and my girlfriend Elizabeth, and we sat outside. We had to sit out. I mean, you can sit inside in the restaurants in Texas. They do the social distancing and stuff, but my girlfriend's a nurse, so she was like, we're not going to sit inside. So we sat outside. It was people don't understand the heat in Houston. with the humidity. Like
I imagine, especially
I had a
August.
giant beer stein, full of beer. It was a half liter. And I couldn't even get halfway through it before it was warm. So, but the sausages were delicious. But if anybody's wondering like what's happening in Texas, I didn't really see much except at that restaurant. That's the only time but it was weird. I haven't sat inside a restaurant since February or maybe early March.
Well, I was in Lancaster, man. They do the same thing there. You can sit inside there. It's almost like it's not even quarantining or anything. Like the COVID doesn't exist. I had a EKG on my head for a day and a half, checking out.
Well, but when you were in that
attack.
place in Lancaster,
I didn't go anywhere because I had the thing on my head. That's why my friend Ruby came to pick me up. I didn't want to like be in this neighborhood with a EKG machine on my head. So she went to the doctor's appointment with me where they put that on. I got to take it back. I didn't go back today to take it. I was supposed to return it.
Why didn't you want to be in your neighborhood with an EKG machine on your head if you're going to talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah, I just didn't want to like, oh, hey, what's going on? Like, I didn't want to, I have anxiety attacks or trying to find out what it is.
Well, yeah, that probably wouldn't help your anxiety.
Yeah, I had a concussion, so I was like blacking out like crazy, and they just want to make sure that it's not seizures. Doesn't look like seizures, but they're just ruling that out, and that's what they're doing. One of the reasons why I'm moving back to Cleveland. But yeah, we were supposed to have Kareem Green on this, but yesterday we're about to do the podcast. My camera didn't work, and I kind of freaked out, so I canceled it last minute. He's supposed to join. I sent him the invite, but whatever. He's not here. It is what it is. But I want to get to this, Bob, because last episode we were talking Tom McCaffrey and I were talking about comedy beefs, and you didn't say any of your beefs. I want to know your beefs, buddy. You don't got to drop names, but let me know your beefs. I know you have them because you've told me beefs. I can name beefs that you do have, but I'm not going to do it. I want you.
Comedy beefs.
You don't act like you don't know. Come on.
Well, I'm trying to think of a legit one. There's
beef. They don't even have to be beefs. Like, the one
like
thing.
One-sided. There's you always remember the bad stuff. That's what the news is. The news. If the news was all good stories, we'd never watch the news. So I can bring up at least one person. I remember, and I didn't even meet him. That was the funny part, but it still makes me hate him. The one time I featured for Jamie Kennedy at the Houston Improv.
I heard he's a weirdo. I heard he's not that cool.
Well, I was specifically told I wasn't allowed to go in the green room by the.
Why you worked there?
Yeah, while I was on the show. Oh yeah, okay. No, this was like, 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
And just the manager's a friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey, you can't go in the green room." And I was like, "Ha!" I just started laughing. He's like, "No, seriously, he doesn't want." And I'm like it didn't matter because the show wasn't sold out, so there was like plenty of room. The Houston Improv holds like 450, and there was plenty of room in the back, which was also good. I was like, laughing at that he couldn't sell out the room, but so that pissed me off, and I don't like him because he was also one of those guys that when he went on stage, he didn't say anything about me or the host. He didn't say he didn't even say, because we've all forget people's names. He never even said, give it up for those two guys. Didn't mention me or the host at all.
Oh wow.
And the show was so fucking bad. Like if he was good, I would hate to say it, but I would actually say, oh no, he was good. I can't argue with it, but it was so bad. Like he was getting heckled and he couldn't handle it. And he like had a movie called Heckler.
Oh really? He's got a movie called Heckler? That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. You never heard of that? He's got it's a fake, who cares about Jamie Kennedy's comedy? So he interviews a bunch of comedians, and they all talk about heckling. And they show at one point Jamie Kennedy on stage at like the Laugh Factory, and it's so obvious that this was a planned setup. So every time it shows him like slam somebody, you're just like, no, this is a setup, because the things people were yelling out, you were just like, nobody would have yelled that out.
Right.
And he's
That,
like, making this movie like he's a great, he's got like a Tell and some other big name comics in it. And there's also like no name comics in it and stuff, but he's just, so I can't say personally that, I never even met him. That's like the only time I've ever worked with somebody, where I never got to fucking meet them. And I didn't even try to meet him.
that's also weird too, man. If you have a movie called Heckler, you're almost inviting heckling to come at you. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're known as the guy now,
Of course.
because you're known now as the guy that handles hecklers, because you just had a movie that you apparently can handle hecklers, and then it's like, oh, but so yeah.
Well, first of all, not many people saw the movie.
Yeah, I didn't even know of it. Like
exactly. So and second of all, anybody that goes to see Jamie Kennedy is only going to see him because they know him from Scream or some other movies. They're not going to see him because they love his stand-up comedy. But it was funny because he was terrible.
I remember seeing his premium blend a zillion years ago, and it was just him blowing a flute. Do you remember that?
Oh wow, no, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I just remember it's just him blowing a flute, and it was like there's no jokes, and I didn't even know he was a guy from Scream. I'm like, this is on TV, like.
Yeah, he would be booked at the Houston Laugh Stop years, like, I don't know what year Scream came out. It was,
probably late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember he would be
98-ish.
He would be booked at the Laugh Stop, and then, his picture would be up, and then his picture would be gone, and it'd be like, oh, he's got to do some TV or movie thing. So he never came to the Laugh Stop because he was always booked, and then, but now he's got plenty of time to do.
Yeah,
but I just thought that was fun. I mean,
I ruined the. My story. I ruined the green room for a comedian. After me, Dave Coulier would let no other comedians in the green room. I only know this because Kumail Nanjiani was at Comics talking about it on stage. He worked with them literally like 2 weeks after I worked with them in Cleveland. And he's like, Dave Coulier wouldn't let anyone in the green room. And I was the last one ever allowed in the green room. And you know my story. I ruined it for everybody because there's a family of 4. And I like handed them tickets to the kid, like gave me a ticket. I handed it to Dave Coulier I'm like, here, can you sign this kid's ticket? And the guy, he's like, no. Now, to his credit, he never saw the kid, but he said no. So I'm like, oh, wow. It didn't occur to me he might say that. So I had to walk back out. And then I made an ass out of myself by saying, let me see that ticket. I go, I'll sign it. And the mom grabs it out of my hand and goes, what good is that going to do? And they storm away.
Well, yeah, Ray, that's a rookie move for you to assume he's going to sign something for.
It was just a kid.
Somebody.
It's a 9-year-old kid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it never occurred to me he'd say no.
But people don't want to be bugged, comics.
It wasn't bugged by a bunch of people. It's just one stupid ticket stub.
I know, but he didn't make the decision. It was like you made the decision for him.
I'm a dummy. It didn't occur to me he'd say, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be.
It also taught you to never do something like that again.
Yeah, well, I know that now. Also, I will say this. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of his act. He did a lot of like cut it out and all this.
Sure, of course.
But he did fine. I mean, the crowd and it like kind of.
Well, he's a guy that is a stand-up comic. Was a stand-up comic before, Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy's story is he's terrible, and he's never had to really work as a stand-up comic. Like if I remember reading correctly, he has a book out from a while ago, and he's one of those guys that kind of like snuck his way into Hollywood because he like kept calling some manager or agent or something, pretending to be somebody else and saying, hey, you got to look at this kid. He did some bullshit like that kind of got him.
Wow. Good for him though, man. I'll take that. Dude, I was hanging out because I had that dumb thing on my head that so I was hanging out with Ruby Nicholas, she's great. She won America's
Did you take any pictures of it?
I did. I don't really want them out, man.
Well, no, you can show me sometime.
Yeah, I'll show you, but yeah, I got this dumb thing on my head, EKG thing. But she So I'm at her house. She's one of my best friends. So I'm at her house, and she's got two daughters. One's 21, the other one's like 19 or 18, just graduated
Go
high
on.
school. And but all their friends are over. So I'm hanging out with a bunch of like teenagers, and they're all nice. They're all cool kids. But the one kid, I liked the kid until he said this, where he's talking to me and Ruby. He's like, I'm thinking about going to New York and be a model. And I like the kid, but I wanted to punch him. Like, where do you get that fucking self-confidence? Do you remember that at 18? To think that you're so good. Like, the kid's a decent looking kid. I'm not saying he's not, but where the fuck do you get that self-esteem out of nowhere? Just like, I think I'm going to go be a model. And then that's when I was like, all right, we're done. Well, I don't know why that bugged me, that he had that confidence.
It's certainly stupid right now.
Yeah, but I'm just
in this time frame.
Yeah.
Kids are a lot of kids literally.
Where do you get that confidence? Where do you get that self-esteem, Bob?
Some kids think they can do whatever they want, because they've been able to do whatever they want. Is he a rich kid? Is he? I
guess he comes from money. You know what he looks like? I told him he looked like Pete Sampras, because he does look like Pete Sampras.
I wouldn't call that a model. He got big bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, he looks like Pete Sampras. Like when he was in his prime, like in the 90s, like the early 90s. Pete Sampras was a good-looking dude. Come on, he's all
right. I'm not gonna say he's a model.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, this kid's he's an all right looking kid, but I should go be a model. What else you bring to the table?
He married the hot chick from Mortal Kombat.
Billy Madison. She was in Billy Madison. He married Veronica Vaughn. How can you call her anything besides Veronica Vaughn?
Well, because first she was Sonya
Bridget Wilson. That's her name.
Sonya from Mortal Kombat. She's terrible in it, but
I thought she was hot in the day, and I thought she was great in Billy Madison.
Oh yeah, she's hot. Yeah, no, I didn't say she was hot. I was saying she was bad, and because she's supposed to know karate and stuff, and it's obvious she doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't see
the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, I didn't see the Mortal Kombat movie, but Pete Sampras doesn't get that much credit. Like John F. Kennedy Jr. gets all this credit for being like this. I don't have any more Silk City hot sauce. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Check them out. Put in the G-hole. You get 6 bottles for $35 and some free cherry sriracha and some extra stuff. I'm out. I ate it all. It's good.
It's a great deal. Well, send him a message. He'll send you more.
Yeah, I got more coming. I'm going to wait till I go to Ohio because I don't know how
there you go.
How long I'm going to be here. Also, here's another thing.
You don't need to travel with hot sauce.
We can talk about some real life shit. So I'm leaving here. What's going on in my apartment is my landlord lives in the apartment directly across from me. So he's getting, Bob, you know the story. I'm just telling this for everybody else. So he's getting rid of my apartment altogether. Like, he's getting rid of it. So instead of signing a lease, he's like, we'll just do it month by month for every month you're here. As long as you're gone by July 2021, not a big deal. You could stay. He's like, and I'll even look for a place for you in New York City that's comparable. It's like, oh, thank you. But then I decided.
Sounds like a good guy.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to Ohio. So I told him, but I go, okay, here's the deal. I don't want to leave my roommates hanging. So what are they supposed to do? Like, I'm going to leave at the end of August. But at the same time, just because I'm leaving at the end of August, not fair to them to be like, hey, you guys also have to get your shit together.
Not if you tell them now.
Yeah, no. But even before, it's like, all right, this is like with everything going on with COVID to throw that.
That's not your
I get
problem.
it. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. That's not my landlord's problem. But I've lived here for years. He's a good dude. He's like, listen, don't worry about it. Also, like, yes, they could fill this room, but if you're getting rid of this room anyways, what's the point of them bringing in someone else? So I worked it out with my landlord where if I leave, they still pay the same rent. Just my room's empty. No one's got to deal with it. It's like they just go on paying their rent and they don't got to worry about the financial obligation of my bedroom.
And you're completely no lease or anything.
Yeah, and neither are they. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Now, here's the wrinkle. So my one other roommate is also going to leave, which is fine. He's going to leave at the end of August. So my other roommate, Morgan's like, okay, if he's leaving, I can get a buddy to move in for a couple months, which is fine. But now Morgan wants to get someone in my room come September 1st. And I'm like, you don't have to worry about my room. Like, I might be here for a few days in September.
Yeah, they're not having you pay. They're not having him pay
So it's
that
like,
money.
it's like, you don't have to pay this money. This room is not. So do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, okay, you don't have to worry about this room. Why are you putting someone in this room?
Well, that's the thing. If he's going to do that,
then he owes John money. Then that's not fair at all. Like, what, are you just going to have someone squatting here?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's not going to.
We didn't talk about that. I want to find out the details, but also, like, I don't think I'm in a big hurry to go because one of the things, I was going to Lancaster to Ruby's, and she was going to help me take a bunch of my stuff, and I was going to take my stuff to Lancaster. Fucking Ruby's a pack rat. She shows up with her SUV, and it's filled like the fucking trash compactor in Star Wars with all her shit. And I'm like, there was no room to put anything, and I got the fucking EKG on my head. So I'm like, I brought like a thing of clothes, like my clothes on hangers, and that's it. So I didn't get to take all the shit that I wanted to take. So I was, but that is what it is. But yeah, that's not fair to my landlord. So I got to talk to Morgan and be like,
no, but at that point, that's not even your problem anymore.
Right.
I mean, I know, yes, you're trying to be nice and everything, but once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah. But I might be here a few days in September, and like, who cares? But I'm allowed to be here for a few days. Like, I've lived here for all this time. So yeah, I didn't like that. He's like, I think I'm going to get someone in there. So when are you going to be out of your room? And it's like, that's not your concern, dude. You don't got to worry about this room. This room is it's not a concern. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's like, don't worry about this room. This is not your worry. Worry about your
shit. It's not his worry, especially because he doesn't have to worry about the money.
Exactly.
Why would you want to bring, because once he brings somebody else in, now you're gone. I mean, you're going to be gone anyway, but then he's going to have to sign the lease or something.
Exactly. There is no lease because it's just month to month.
But there will be.
Yeah.
He'll make him have a month to month lease.
Yeah.
But also, that involves, or actually, if he brought somebody else in, you never know. He might give him one till July of next year or whatever date you said.
Right.
But that's your, I don't know. Sounds like that's a great deal that's happening. There's no reason to bring somebody in unless he thought he was like, oh, I can get my friend to pay rent and I'll just keep the money.
That's what I'm thinking. If that's the case, that's not cool. Like, you can't, like, it's like, no, I already worked it out that you don't got to worry about this. So whatever, it is what it is. I was just bringing that up to something to bitch about. Any other beef spot? What else you got? I do want to bring that up. Like, what do you think? Because and he's a friend of mine. It's all cool, but like, you know what I'm talking about. When I put up a tweet and someone had a tweet that wasn't the same, just had the same topics, and goes, why are you posting my joke? That was weird.
Yeah, but that's not a beef. That's just one of you being a douche.
What do you think of that? Like, if it's not like the same joke, then what does anyone care? Have you ever had that?
Because some guys are like that. Yeah, I mean, I've had guys tell me. I mean, I assume it's probably happened on tweets, but I've had somebody. You do a bit and you get off stage and somebody's like, hey man, this guy has the same bit. And there's been once or twice when, if it's, first of all, like, I won't get into it, but the joke, the tweet you're referring to was talking about things that are, if you want to say, topical, was like COVID related or whatever. And like, you see late on the late shows, I mean, if anybody watches them anymore, every time something happens in the news, you can see literally the exact same. You could flip from one channel to another. You used to be able to, you could flip from like Colbert to Fallon, and they would literally be doing the exact same. I mean, I've seen them do the exact same joke. I saw David Spade when David Spade used to have, this was a show he had on Comedy Central like 10 years ago. He had a show on Comedy Central, and he had this one segment where he would just showed late night people doing the exact same jokes.
Wow.
Because because it's something, it was all easy jokes. It was all, because late night shows are doing topical humor. Stuff that happens today is going to be on tonight or tomorrow. So, something happens with Trump, a specific thing, then they make the jokes. So my point is, it happens. But every time anybody's ever told me somebody did the exact same joke, I think 9 out of 10 times I was always like, it's not the same joke.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I apologize. I was doing another podcast that ran past this time.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll send an invite. Jump in for a little bit. We're doing it.
Okay, what time? Oh, okay, cool.
Just jump in. We'll see you in a few.
Ray's on the phone
How about
with our guest.
Yes, he's coming in to do a Kareem Green.
How long have we been going so far?
Like 30 minutes. We'll do some more. Yeah, this is fun. But yeah, no. Real quick though, I will say this about David. You're friends with Bobby Miyamoto too. He's your buddy as well.
Yeah, I met him working with David Spade.
Yeah,
last year.
he writes for David Spade on the show. He's good buddies with David Spade. And when David Spade's Comedy Central show that came out like 5 years ago was coming out, they had David Spade do a late night set, and he didn't have, I guess, a lot of new jokes. And I know Bobby, he did like 4 of Bobby's jokes from Bobby's act. Talks about how he's Asian and everything.
Nah.
No, he really did. Like he did. So, Bobby obviously sold him some jokes, but it was because I know Bobby and I'm like, he's doing Bobby's joke. But that is obviously cool because they're friends and he probably gave it to him like, hey, I'm doing late night. But that's the first
definitely.
time. That's the first time I ever saw that. Have you ever saw that?
No, I mean, I know people that have bought other people's acts. When Ron White started becoming big, he bought this guy's act in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
Bought his whole act. Yeah.
So, okay. So it does have, that's the first time I saw it. I mean, I knew Bobby was cool with it. I'm sure Bobby got paid and he's a writer on his show. So it's not like Bobby's like, what the fuck is this? Why
well, yeah, for two reasons. I'm guessing Spade doesn't know Bobby Miyamoto's act that well to just, you know what I mean? He's not watching. He might like him, but he's not watching his act. And maybe watched it one time and was like, hey, I need these jokes for my
no, they're
spot.
friends. They're friends. Like Bobby lived on the same street with me.
I know,
and
but
they would talk on the phone all the time.
Right, but he's not sitting. Spade's not sitting there watching Bobby Miyamoto's act.
All right, so he's coming in here in a little bit, but yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Like I never saw that.
Somebody posted on Facebook in this comedy complaints group about how people feel about comedians that have writers, and all these people are like, I mean, it was like 50-50. Who cares? And well, if these guys have writers, it's not their material. And I'm just like, wow, a lot of you guys are going to be really mad when you find out all your favorite comics have writers.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because I'm under the impression that, hey, if you had a joke and I liked it and I was like, and I paid you money for it, well, it's my joke now. I mean, I've never done that, but I mean, just like I said with Ron White buying the guy's act, when you get that prolific, if you got to put out a special, once a year, whatever, an album, I mean, you have to have people giving you material. Some people do.
Right. Yeah, an hour a year. Yeah, that's
Is it
tough.
out of the question to think that Louis C.K. doesn't have some, even writers or even just somebody you run jokes by, and then they're like, yeah, man, add this. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
So a lot of people seem to think that comedians do everything by themselves. And it's like, and even that, what I just said, somebody's like, well, that's not really somebody being a writer. I'm like, no, if somebody, punches up your joke, that's, technically they helped you write that joke. I mean, if you think somebody's just going to write out an hour of material and here you go, Louis, here's your new act. It's not a movie. It's a completely different thing. But I don't think people realize how many comedians have writers. They just don't. Some guys have writers where they're like, oh no, he's my writer. Like everybody kept saying, people kept saying like, well, Paul Mooney wrote for Richard Pryor. And it's like, yeah, he did. He was known as his writer. He traveled around with him and opened for him. And that's what a lot of people do.
That's
Spade
true.
and Miyamoto, probably.
Yeah, I know I've given people tags and stuff that they use.
Well, I mean, technically, that's being a writer for somebody.
Oh, you know
But
what?
when you're just sitting around doing something like that, that's what. If somebody asks you for help, there's a big difference between just giving somebody a tag or two. I mean, even Attell's asked me to help him with stuff before. He's like, "Hey, have you heard this? What do you think of this?" And I'm like,
Joe DeVito gave me a joke once. So Kareem's entering. He's coming in. But
did Danny DeVito give you any material?
No, Joe DeVito. That joke I do about like the first time masturbating, like first time something comes out, you do it a bunch of times, nothing but air, and then one day something comes out, and I go, I had tears in my eyes and a load in my hand, and I go, those are also the lyrics of my favorite country western song.
Well, that's a classic. That's a DeVito joke. If you're a DeVito, you have to do that.
Yeah. No, he gave me that joke when I said I had tears in my eyes and a load in my hand, and he goes, as I got off stage, he goes, tears in my eyes, load in the hand. That sounds like a country western song. And I was like, oh, thanks, dude. And I
disgusting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a Joe DeVito. He ggave me that joke.
It's a nice girl's bike.
Yeah. Kareem Green's joining us. He's getting all situated.
It's a girl's bike. Yep. Bring my bike in here, baby. Let me tell this boy what it's about. You don't disrespect my bike. You ain't seen my bike.
Dude, there's no shame in a girl's. Yeah, there's no shame in a girl's bike. Yeah, I ride it.
You messing with my ego.
Is that really your bike, Kareem?
It's a city bike he's borrowing.
Nah, dude, I'm not above getting a girl's bike. Like when I got my bike, if it was a girl's bike, like I don't give a shit. Like if it's cheap and it's.
Why does the
Here you go, my bike.
Oh, there you go.
It's another type of girl's bike.
That's a nice bike.
Isn't it actually weird how the girl's bike doesn't have the bar across? Like, shouldn't the guy's bike not have the bar across?
No, the girl's bike doesn't have the bar across because they would wear dresses. It's only for dresses. That's why theirs go down.
Not for ball protection?
No, it's for dresses because of dresses. That's why girls have the low bar.
Is that what you heard?
That's what I've been told.
That's why he doesn't wear a dress anymore.
Yeah. Welcome, Kareem. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, and you, man. Thanks for having me. I apologize for the tardiness. I've never been late to a podcast before.
It's all good, man. We were just.
That's all right. Ray was freaking out yesterday because his camera broke on his computer.
Yeah, my camera wouldn't work, and I thought I had to replace the whole screen. I got an external camera. It's above my. So I'm fine. Like that's what I'm looking at now is an external camera. But yeah, it wouldn't work on my computer. And then I watched a YouTube video, and they're like, you have to replace the entire screen. So now I'm like, shit, that's like $900. I'm like,
wait, what kind of computer you got?
MacBook Pro.
Oh, they're always gonna tell you need to replace.
Yeah. But everything else works except the camera, so I just got an external camera. Because if you open it a little bit, like 20 degrees, the camera works. It's when you flip it all the way up that's when it doesn't work. So there's a connector. There's a connector shortage, and that's what's going on with it. But to fix it, you got to replace the entire screen. And I'm like, that's like $900. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You might as well start buying a new computer once you're spending $900.
Yeah, exactly. So
but that's their trick. Their trick is to always, you know how in Apple, the way they fix things is to get a new one. That's how they fix things. Yeah,
that's what they're saying. Like if any little thing goes wrong on your screen, you got to replace the whole screen. Like that's what they say. Like the whole screen's got to go. And it's like
my daughter had her computer. She had a laptop in when you plug the power in.
Right.
It was like kind of a short in it or something or whatever it was. And it wasn't working that well. And then she went there and she goes, they tell her, yo, you just need a new computer. That's just what it is. It was a MacBook Air. And then I was just like, well, why don't you just go get a second opinion from like
just fix the hole.
Other, you know what I'm saying? And then she was just like, no, they said I need a new computer. And then another day she tried it and it worked perfectly. So I know that they're just about getting money from you.
Yeah. Yes, it was. So it's fine. I got the external camera. I don't got to worry about it. It's fine like this. I went to Lancaster, so I was traveling with my laptop. Maybe I was a little too rough as I was going around, that disconnected something accidentally, but this seems to be fine.
Probably opened it too far one time.
Could have been. I don't know.
You can open it. If you open it too far, that's where all the connectors are.
Something,
but shit happens. Whatever, you got it fixed.
It's a Mac. It should be able to withstand a little extra stretching.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Dude, so it was a bummer. And then as soon as that, I found out that QED is closed for 2 weeks. So there's no more shows.
Wow, yeah, that was
closed for 2 weeks.
Something about like you have to serve food with. I don't know. I'll send you guys.
If they're only closed, if they're closed for 2 weeks, that sounds like it's COVID related. Like maybe one of them got. I mean, 2 days. 2 weeks, 14 days quarantine. Maybe something happened at QED.
Well, these are the last 2 weeks I'm here, so it's like I was going to do shows tonight and next Thursday, and they've been selling out too. So it's a bummer. And this show would have been sold out too tonight. I know a lot of people got tickets.
You should just find a new place. Go see if you can do the roof. Just relocate, baby. Just go see if you can do the roof. Remember the roof we met on?
Oh yeah, dude. You know what, Bob? The Tiny Cup. I don't know if this happened to you, Kareem, but that night, I guess the guy whose place it is, he was there, the one selling the wine. He hit me up on Facebook. And he goes, hey, you should hit up these guys. They also have shows. Would love to have you come back. That's how you know it's a new room, because it does not happen any other time. You know what I mean?
He's only seen a few comics.
Yeah. So I hit up Brittany Brave was one of them, and the other one was Phil Rizdon, who was there. And I hit him up.
I did his show afterwards.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because I was supposed to do that show, but what happened was I got the dates confused or whatever, or I took too long to get back to him, whatever it was, trying to, do 2 dates at once or whatever. And he's just like, if you're here, yeah, you can do it. I'll throw you a few minutes. And then I did his show. It was a great show. We had a great time. I think it was even more people on the second show than the first show.
Oh, really? That first show was fun. I had a lot of fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was cool. Good, I was wearing my Silk City. That's our sponsor. Shout out to Silk City Hot Sauce. I wore your T-shirt on my show, Silk City Hot Sauce.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, it was good times, man. Kareem, we were talking about this. You don't got to drop names if you don't want to, but we were talking about comedy beefs. Do you have any comedy beefs? You don't have to go into it if you don't want to. If it's too.
Well, let me think. What do you consider a beef? Because there's people that I don't really care for, but I don't know if it's
so it doesn't even register as a beef. It's more like they just don't. Yeah,
they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's no real beefs. It's probably maybe a little tension, maybe,
Okay, all right.
Me that much. I may not like them that much. But it's not like when I see you, there's a problem.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, that's not. I didn't mean like that. No, I just had like. It all started because I was at my buddy's party, and some girl that's a comedian gave me some shit about. I used to have a show at the Stand, which was a pretty well-to-do show, and she's like, I put you on my show, which was like a 6 o'clock show on Wednesday afternoons at Greenwich. And she's like, but you never put me on. And it's like,
I see where this goes.
It's like, whoa, these are two different shows. And by the way, like I have other shows that are better than the fucking 6 o'clock Wednesday show that she had that she never wanted to do because she had other things, whatever, that's fine. But that is not the same and I went off on her at my buddy's party, and I felt bad. It's at Tom McCaffrey's birthday party, and I felt bad because it's at his party, created tension.
Yeah.
But like, I'm leaving town. I didn't give a shit. I like threw it out there. I'm like, I go, and also, you don't. I go, you're funny as a road comic. You're a road comic hack. Like you are funny on the road. I brought her on the road to open up for me. She does great. I got her paid work. But as far as like in the city, like you're bringing nothing new to the table. No one's like listening to your jokes saying, "Oh, I never heard that angle on that before. That's interesting." No one's ever said that on any of her jokes, and that's what I kind of went off on. So it's not really a beef. I'm not saying her name because I get along with her. I used to bring her on the road when I lived here, but like, yeah.
But I mean, well, you had to, that. But what you did was almost fighting words, telling the people they suck. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not. No, she doesn't suck.
He didn't actually say all that to her.
I didn't say no. I did say the other. No, I didn't say she sucked, but I said you're bringing not like the show that I was talking about. Jim Gaffigan's on it. He's a friend. Janine Garofalo, Jim Gaffigan. I tell we do it sometimes. Kevin Nealon when he's in town. Like it's names.
It's a level, yeah.
Yeah, it's names, and it's also like people that bring something to the table. Like, there's not one joke of yours that's a quotable, is what I'm saying to her. Like, no one's like, oh, like everything you're saying is shit that's already been said before. And not that it's bad. I'm just saying it's nothing new. I'm not like,
well, when you say, but to me, that's still saying, to me, when you tell someone, that means they're subpar. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear what you're saying.
Because if anyone can be a comic and go on the road and get paid. But to me, the essence of this is being funny, because people stop at being funny, but after you be funny, then what do you have to say? So if you're not saying anything, you don't have to change the world saying nothing.
Exactly.
But you just have, but what's your perspective?
Yeah, be unique in some way. Be unique in some way. How do you stand out from what other shit? For whatever it is. Even if it's some wild stuff, but it's yours, right? Exactly.
But if you're just a hack, it's just like, I can leave the room when you're in there. That's what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have to, because you're not enlightening. You're not even, because comedy is also, I'm a fan also, right? So it's inspiring. So you're not saying anything inspiring. You're saying the basic generic things to get by. You're mailing it in. That's what I call it, mailing it in, right? You got an act, it works kind of, and it works on the road because they don't require nothing but a chuckle, But as a peer, I can put you where I can put you. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, as you said, I'll put you on the road. I'll put money in your pocket. What do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? What do you want from me? I don't have to do that because no one really owes anybody anything.
Exactly.
So for someone to beef with you about, and plus, this is how you know you suck too. When you say, I did this for you and you didn't put me on your show, that means you suck. You know why? Because you're trying to exchange favors. Normally, when you're at a certain level of skill, people will go, I would love to have them on my show because they're going to enlighten or just excite the crowd and give good energy and whatever it is. I'd love to have them there. But if you don't want them, not that you don't want them, but you could take them or leave them, that's just a testament to your skill set.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Like, I don't have to book somebody. I mean, I don't have to like somebody to book them. Right. Honestly.
Yeah, no.
I'll book somebody, whoever, as long as you can do the job. As long as you can do the job. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I brought her on the road with me. I knew she'd do fine, and she did. We were in somewhere in Connecticut. She did fine.
But that owe me conversation is just disgusting. It's disgusting when someone tells you owe them something, especially after you've given them something, And when you say a 6 o'clock show, once you say 6 o'clock, Bringer pops into my head. So
it is a Bringer show. It's me doing a slotted. Yeah, it's me doing a slotted spot on a Bringer show. I'm obviously not bringing anyone, but that's pretty much.
I don't knock a Bringer. I knock like an open. That's like close to open mic. Bringer is like right after open mic.
Right.
Right. So if you took her on the road, put her on pro shows, put her on whatever, and she gives you an open a bringer show, it's still a show because those people you don't know and they're actually audience. So it's a real show.
Right. Yeah.
But
No,
it's just-
no, I didn't mind doing the spots. I enjoy doing the spot. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I want to do 8 minutes of jokes and work shit out. So it's fine. And it starts the night. I'll probably go over to the Grizzly Pear, line up a spot after that, or the Lantern or something while I'm down there. So it is good. It is. I appreciate the stage time, but at the same time, don't act like that's the same shit.
She wanted to be put in the elite of your audience, of your roster before her time.
Yeah.
That's what.
Also, I would have gotten in trouble if I would have put her on the shows. Patrick, the booker, would have been like, "What the fuck is this? Am I doing on a show here?"
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not giving her a paid spot because they're the ones that paid. Like,
that's what people do, and I mean, it happens all over, but especially in a place like New York, it's the comics that we've all. I mean, Ray, you've booked people on shows so they would book you on their shows. But the difference is you don't say, hey, I booked you on this show. You should put me on this show. They realize you're a good comic. The comic that says that goes, hey, the comic that says, I'll put you on this show if you put me on yours. That's the bad comic. The good comic doesn't. We've all done, quote unquote, things like that where we put somebody on a show or you put somebody's name because you're like, hopefully they run a good show and hopefully they'll put me on their show. But you don't, when you take the extra step of actually saying that to the person, then it's like, nah, you're worthless.
And McCaffrey pretty much admitted she's got a history of that too, if you remember.
But see, the thing is, your work will speak for itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're doing good, they'll want you on their show.
Of
They'll
course.
invite you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't if they see what you do, they'll be like, of course, it's not a problem. But I'm not gonna put you on a show just because you put me on your show when you're not. That's not a fair trade.
If the person isn't I'm not saying you put like you put an open micer on your show because they happen to run a great show. No, they also have to be, for me to do something like that, they have to be where I'm like, no, they're worth getting this spot.
That makes sense.
They belong in this group of of what I'm doing. So but the thing is, it's just approaching people with that you owe me mentality is what's disgusting to me.
It's even, I mean,
and you were saying a beef, right? My beef, all right, not beef, but I'd say it was different. It was more like I'm on stage, a white guy comes in. I'm doing an urban show.
They're the worst.
A white guy comes in, but there's another white comedian on the show, right? He went on already, but a white guy comes in with one of them kind of Hawaiian-ish with the palm tree shirt on.
Right.
The comedian
that's the funny shirt.
That's the life is good shirt. But the comedian, like I'm on vacation shirt, but the comedian had somewhat of a shirt on like that too. He was white. But when the white dude came in, it's an all black show. I'm like, oh my God. And then I asked the other comedian, I was like, the white comedian, I was like, yo man, go talk to him. Tell him everything's cool. That's the joke. I'm joking because he's white. They got the same shirt on, whatever. Now, my lady's white also. So he goes, it's your girl to do it, And then that was it wasn't a beef, but it was just like, you're a comedian. I'm talking to you as a comedian. You either play with it, you don't get mad at it. You don't bring up other people's significant children or you don't, you just don't introduce other people's
significant others. Yeah,
significant others, their children, their mothers, their fathers, their
family.
Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, the family. You don't really do. To me, that's it's just like a law, a rule, unless y'all knew each other, all knew each other.
Yeah.
So that was my somewhat. It wasn't a beef, but it was one of those feelings like, do I feel like I might have to check this dude?
Right.
So, but I didn't because you know what? Sometimes I realize I know who I am, but I also know when you look at certain people and they do things like that, you got to realize their life is their punishment.
No, that's true. That's
what I'm
true.
saying? They're existent with, the anger that comes out of people. That's where they're being punished. They're being punished every day being that way. So I don't have to add to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
an evolved me. Before, it would have been, because it was still, I still felt it. I felt like, yo, I should just catch him outside and punch him in the face.
Oh,
You know?
Jesus. I haven't been in a fight in forever. I can't,
No, I didn't say anything about a fight. I said punch him in the face.
Oh, just punch.
Ray got punched by a homeless guy about 8 months ago.
Did I?
Oh,
Remember when you were like trying to park your car and some homeless guy wanted to fight you and he punched you and then you called the cops?
but was you trying to park it on him?
No.
The guy wouldn't get out of the way and he was hitting Ray's cars. He was trying to park it and he like had to get to a spot.
He didn't actually punch me. He just punched my car?
No, he like pushed you. You were on the ground. You ended up on the ground. Like the guy either pushed you or punched you. Yes, Ray. You've told it on previous episodes, obviously.
No, I didn't. I've never got punched. There was a dude that was punching my car, but I didn't get punched.
And then you got out and you got punched or thrown down because you were on the ground and people were like, no, this guy. That's why you called the cops because he.
Maybe I was exaggerating, but nobody punched me. There was a guy that was punching my car, but nobody punched me.
Ray has problems remembering things.
Were you there, Bob?
No, you told me this.
Yeah, I was probably exaggerating. No, I did not get punched. There was a dude punching my car, and I was waiting for the cops, but then I was like.
But I know he pushed you down or threw you down or something.
No, I never got punched. I would remember if I got punched.
All right, so it wasn't punched. You got thrown down. Or
The dude didn't touch me. The dude hit. I do remember a dude hitting my car. Nobody hit me. You got to re-listen to it.
Ray was
I would own it if I got.
Ray was crying like a baby. This guy's touching my car.
No, there was a dude punching my car, and I called the cops. But I did not get punched. I did not get hit.
This is how rumors get spread.
Yeah, I would remember. I would own it if some guy.
If you didn't get punched, I know you got thrown down or you were on the ground.
No.
So, okay. Let me
go back and listen.
Now I want to know that I would fucking remember it.
We're gonna go back and find that episode.
Let me get this straight. So Ray, you was trying to park, and a homeless guy punched you to the ground, and then he punched
I did not
your
get
car.
punched to.
Yes,
I did not get
exactly.
Well, that's the story I'm rolling with. On my next Zoom, I'm telling everybody that's what happened.
Get your phone, tweet it out right now.
Yeah, no, I would remember if nobody touched me. There was a guy punching my car.
You were
and I called the police and he went away. But also I had to get to a show, so I didn't hang out and wait for the police.
The cops showed up and you were gonna try to get him for assault, but they said you have to go down to the police station and you were like, well, I got a set. And you came back and you flattened the guy tires on a bicycle because you were hoping that bicycle was that guy's bike.
That's not
Oh my
true. That's
God.
not true.
Yes.
That is not me.
That is
Bob.
100% true.
That is not me. I would fucking
Ray.
remember that.
That
That is not me.
That is
That's
100%
obviously
true
somebody
you said
else. That's
that.
fucking not me,
No,
dude.
there was
I don't know who the fuck. I would remember that, and I would own it. I would still be talking about that if that fucking happened to me.
It's on an episode of the podcast.
And I would still be talking about it.
I
All right, find that
100%
footage.
guarantee
Find that footage. I do remember a guy punching my car because I called Mark DeMay, like, what do I do about this? But there's nothing I could do. The guy.
And you flattened the tires on a bicycle.
I did not.
You thought it was that guy's. You thought it was that guy's bike. Yes. How could I even make that up? How would I even think of that?
How would I forget it?
Because you forget a lot of things, right? You forget a lot of things.
I would remember that.
And I
Kareem,
guarantee
would you
that's
remember
on
if
the
somebody
podcast.
punched you?
Oh yeah.
Forget the punch. Forget the punch part. Maybe you weren't punched, but you told me you got knocked down. You were on the ground. That's why you wanted to get him for assault. And there were other people that saw it. They saw him push you.
I don't remember this.
And then the cops showed up and you said you wanted to get him for assault. And they were like, because you called 911, like, this guy's just assaulted me. I remember you saying that. And it's on the podcast.
I got to listen to it. But no, now I got to find that footage. Find that footage, Bob. I would remember. I might have been exaggerating, but nobody punched me. I've not been punched or.
Stop with the punch part. Let's forget the punch.
You said somebody punched me and I ended up on the ground. I don't remember.
And I've been saying for the last couple minutes, it was so you got pushed or shoved. You weren't punched. Okay, fine. You weren't punched.
But what about him busting the tires?
I did not bust any tires.
When you came back from your show to your car, you were pissed and you saw that you had seen that guy before standing by that bicycle. That's where he was standing.
I gotta listen to this. I gotta find this.
You flattened one or both of the tires on the bike.
I'm not above that, but I don't remember doing that.
There would be, I don't even know how I would make that up.
All right, we got to find this footage.
Yeah.
We got to find this footage.
Well, it's probably going to be impossible to find because your fucking descriptions of each episode is just like, we had black guy with bicycle on this week. And I'm like, wow, who doesn't want to listen to that? With that
Black guy with bicycle episode. Black guy with girly bike episode.
Actually, that might be a good title, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, now I'm curious.
I swear,
about
Ray,
what the-
I'm sarcastic a lot, but I'm not making. You said all those things. Maybe you didn't get punched. That might have been, but you got pushed and you fell down. Because I remember you telling me. So,
Huh? That's
we'll do some research.
Yo, this is what you got to do, Bob. You got to go find the homeless guy, and then corroborate the
homeless guy riding
corroborate your story.
Yeah.
Homeless
I would
guy
remember
riding
if I
around
got
on
punched.
rims.
I would still be
I'll
talking
find the
about
plaque.
it. Do you get what I'm saying? I would own it and still be talking about it. I'd be.
Forget
would
the
not have-
punch. Forget punch. You got pushed or shoved and you fell down. I remember you telling me.
All right, I
Whether
gotta.
you remember or not.
I do remember
How would
trying
I
to
make
park and some guy punching my car, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
The guy punched your car, and then he got in your face because then you were talking about how if ever there was a time when I could have beaten somebody up, this was it. Because you said the guy, he was like smaller than you. He was just a crazy homeless guy, but he wasn't crazy enough that you were like, this was literally the one time I could have just like knocked this guy out and been in the right. I know I could have done it because you were just so shocked that he pushed you. You also weren't like paying attention. He got up next to you and pushed you. It wasn't something, you don't look bad except for you're retaliating on a helpless bicycle.
I don't remember doing that. I'm not saying I'm above that, but I don't remember doing that.
All right. Well, I'll find that
All
homeless
right.
guy.
Yeah.
We gotta.
I vaguely
Kareem's
remember.
getting uninterested of this podcast.
Yeah, I do remember a guy giving me shit, and also that's happened before, where someone's giving you shit and you're parking, and then you're like, "Do I really want to leave my car here?" Because you're walking away. And it's like, yeah, I'm just leaving this guy with my
Sure.
car. So,
Sure, but this was a real confrontation, so it was
Yeah.
way.
but I
way
probably
more.
wouldn't have left my car then, because then that'd be in my head. This
I
guy
remember you
hates
saying
me,
it was
and
like
I'm
a
leaving my
perfect. It was a
car.
great spot. It was a perfect spot that you didn't want to lose. That's why you took it. And you were like you were kind of running late to your set, but you waited for the
But
cops.
you get what I'm
and-
saying? Like in my head, Kareem, if you have a car and someone you get in a fight with, and
Yes,
you
but
just
you've still
parked,
done it.
you don't want to leave your car. The first thing you're like,
No.
I
wouldn't-
can't leave
wouldn't.
this shit.
If anything, I'll give them the spot because I don't want to come back. My tires is messed up.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I can't see someone giving me shit and then me leaving my car.
I think they took the guy away. They just weren't gonna arrest him.
Oh, all right. I don't know. I gotta find this out, but
Wait,
I
hold
definitely
on,
didn't
hold on,
get
wait a minute,
punched.
wait a
I
minute.
would remember.
Wait a
If I
minute,
got
hold on. You said they took the guy away, but you said he left because he had to go to the police. I mean, he had to
Ray
go to
doesn't
a
even
spot.
remember the story.
I don't remember.
That's
the
what Ray
story.
said. I didn't say
No,
that.
but just I'm just saying what you said. You said he had to go to a spot, so he had to go, so he couldn't stay for the police.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're talking
he's
about,
asking,
me or
he's
Ray?
talking to you because you seem
You're
to
the one
remember.
telling the story.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to, but he stuck around. I mean, he was in kind of a hurry, but the cops had it probably wasn't from his call, but some cops showed up, and then they were like, if you want to get this guy for assault, you're gonna have to come down to the police station and fill out. And he was like, I can't do that. And they like said they were just gonna, drive the guy a few blocks away or whatever, and take him. I believe.
I want to say it was outside a Broadway Comedy Club. I think I was going to Broadway Comedy Club. I remember some guy giving me shit, but he was punching my car. I don't remember him touching me.
Yes,
at all.
yeah, he didn't just
I want
run.
to say we need to move on.
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
just
all right. Well,
run
yeah,
up
let's
on
yeah,
you.
let us let's
That
find
was
that.
20
all right.
minutes on the mysterious punch,
Yeah,
homeless,
yeah.
bike vandalization story.
The other guy
and got
was-
nowhere.
But also, if someone like is giving me shit and I'm parking my car, I'm not going to leave my car because he's.
Yeah,
just
we
gonna
just
have
said that,
access to my
Ray.
car.
The cops took the guy.
All right. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, thank you, Bob, for telling a half-ass story that you had a guy beating me
It's
up.
not a
He's
half-ass
stabbing me
story.
with a knife. I don't remember this. And apparently, where did I get an object to fucking slice his tires?
I didn't say you. I just said you let the air out.
All right.
How would I even make that at this point?
I don't know, man.
At this point, if I
don't
was
know.
making up any of that, I would have broken and been like, I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
I would not keep this going. I promise you.
All right, maybe I was saying a story to exaggerate, but I did not get beat up by a homeless dude. Not that I'm above getting beat up by a homeless dude.
Just said you got pushed down, Ray.
All right.
Because you're a bitch. All right, next topic.
All right, well, let's get one more topic, then we're going to get the hell out of here. Because you know what I got to do? I got to ride my bike. I haven't done any exercise in 3 days. I got to go like on a long-ass bike ride, just get some exercise in. What do you do for exercise, Kareem?
That I ride my bike.
Yeah.
I work out in the park. And I ride my bike in the park. I try to ride if I gotta ride my bike, if I gotta go somewhere, I try to ride my bike.
Right.
For the exercise, you know. In the rest is in the park. I got some weights in the crib. I got bands. I got, whatever. I got enough weight stuff, so I don't have to go to the gym. I can still get in a good workout. Cool. So when the pandemic hit, I was all right. I kind of had this stuff already. So, and I used to go to Planet Fitness, but it's even better to be outside in the summertime to me to work out than having to go somewhere to work out.
Yeah, dude, I put on my headphones and I'll just do laps around Central Park. You know what I mean? Just
riding
like
your bike or jogging?
Riding my bike. Just put on some. I've been. I was at my friend's. What's up?
You live in Manhattan or Brooklyn?
I live in Astoria.
Oh, you live in Queens?
Yeah, I rode my bike to the Tiny Cup. I brought my bike to that joint. That was a nice 40-minute bike ride.
Tiny Cup? What, you mean upstairs?
Tiny Cupboard.
Yeah, Tiny Cupboard. Yeah.
That's the name of that place?
Yeah, I rode my bike there from Astoria.
Oh, okay. That's a good
that was like a nice 40-minute bike ride.
So that's even more. That's what 80 minutes because you went back. You had to ride back, right?
Right. Yeah. Because I came back on the bike. Well, no, I actually went to my buddy's place in Manhattan for the birthday party where I got in that shit with that lady, and I rode my bike back from. He lived on
city
23rd.
bike
you was amped up from that bike ride.
But yeah. No, I was just like, what are you giving me shit for? I'm like, I'll throw shit right back at you.
You should have let the air out of tires.
I rode a city bike to QED. It was a 13-minute ride.
No,
Well, you live in Queens too?
Yeah, I live like 10-minute walk from Ray in Astoria. Yeah.
Wow, there's so many comedians in Astoria.
where are you at?
Well, I'm in Brooklyn now, but I used to live in Long Island City.
Long Island City. That's right here.
Right
That's
next
right
door.
by it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That's what I put as my address.
Did you go to the creek a bunch?
Not that much because I'd go just out other places. I mean, the creek is cool, but sometimes I just like to go other places. Sometimes I go to urban shows. I mix it up. It's like working. It's working out just like when you work out your body the same way. I feel like you should work out with doing stand up. You should do different clubs and different audiences to really test your material. Some people just stay in the mainstream. Some people stay in the urban joint. I go to both. So, I know if the material is more solid and just me, and plus comfortability factors.
Dude,
that's a big thing in like the alt scene. People just stay in the alt scene.
Oh yes, and then there's the alt scene too. So I go to all three basically. The alt scene is kind of like a different. They create the alt scene. I feel like was created like the urban scene was created. The urban scene was created because mainstream they didn't really let the black comics get on stage that much, right? So they just started going to the bars and the different things and creating their own scene, and then that's how.
Yeah, but at least the black or the urban scene, whatever you want to call it, is funny.
Well, hey,
a lot of the alt stuff is not funny.
No, this is my favorite urban show stories I got. This is maybe like 10 years ago. I'm doing a bunch of weeks with Roy Wood Jr. We all love Roy Wood Jr. He's fucking fantastic. But one of the weeks we're at the the Stardome in Birmingham. And Roy used to, he started out doing prank phone calls on an urban radio station there. So he's huge in Birmingham, and he's huge. He's got a big urban following, a huge black following there because he's on the urban radio station from the phone calls. So I'm featuring for him, and he had a couple buddies of his that some Def Jam comics that would go up and do like 10-minute sets before me. And so it's 8 shows. I had 4 good ones and 4 horrible ones. I would know exactly how I would do. The guy before me was a black dude with braids, and he would do a joke about how he's on the roller coaster at whatever the local roller coaster place of the amusement park, and his braid got stuck in the ride, and he fell out of the roller coaster, but whatever the braid thing was so strong that his body's just smacking up against the car as it's going over the loops. Now, when that joke was met with, what? That never happened. I would have heard it on the news. Like, I would do fine when it would do like so. When that joke would get like, people are like clapping and hollering and stuff, I ate a dick. I knew before I went on stage how my show was going to go.
You're saying
4 of them were great, 4 of them were shit. And
you're
it was
saying
all,
when people met the joke with, that never happened.
No, where
That's
they
not
just
real.
met it like
that's when you did well. When they
now
didn't believe
when it was
something
just
you
more
said.
like a light chuckle or whatever. But when people were like into it, that was my reaction when I hear there's like, obviously that never happened. That would have been on the news. But when it was met with just normalcy or not that much of a reaction, I would do great. When that got like people are going crazy about that, I was.
Wait. So this was in Alabama?
Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama, the Stardome.
Okay, but so your frame of reference to something not happening is it being on the news?
No, I'm just saying it was.
Is that how you judge life?
Basically,
that would have been on the news.
Yeah,
that's obviously someone did not fall out of a roller coaster and their braids
it's a terrible
are stuck.
explanation, Ray. All you have to say is, when people didn't laugh at the joke, I did great. When they laughed at the joke, I didn't do well.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say, not...
Well, if they laughed a little bit, it's fine. But when they
but nobody's sitting there,
really love the joke.
As Kareem just said, I said, nobody's sitting there going, well, that didn't happen.
That's me. That was my reaction when I first heard the joke.
Why would your reaction even be that? You're a fucking comedian.
Yeah.
Yo, let me ask you a question. Another thing. Wait, all right. Another thing is, were the shows you did well on, were those the early shows or the late shows?
It'd be mix and match. It'd be mix and match. I do great on some, and then some not so much. And also, I don't know if you ever done Birmingham. It's more like the comedy club is more like a theater because it's like everyone's like kind of back, so you're not on top.
It's the biggest stage of any comedy club.
Yeah,
it is. It used to be. Theater. It was a theater. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not intimate. So when they are not into you, they're really not in. It's almost like they're watching a movie while you're up there. There's 2 giant screens next to you.
If you just walked in, you would think, what play are we seeing?
Yeah, and Roy sold out the entire week. 8 out of 8 shows. He sold that shit out. And this is before he was like hosting all this shit on Comedy Central.
Oh yeah, he's been huge in Birmingham for a long time.
Yeah, he sold all 8 of them out, man.
How many years ago was that?
This is like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's right when he was getting ready to move to New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was still based over there. Okay, so yeah, so he's doing well.
Yeah, I called into his show one time.
He's a great dude. You ever meet Roy?
Without a doubt, he's great.
He's a fucking awesome dude.
Roy.
Yeah, he's a fucking awesome dude. He's a really cool dude.
He was the first guy when I moved here in June of 2018, and he was the first guy to get me on a show.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude.
I couldn't get on any show, and he was the first. I've known him for years, and I just came and saw him at the comic strip one night, and he introduced me to some guy that he was like, hey, you should put Bob on that show you do. He was the first guy that got me any spot.
Are you from Alabama too?
No, I'm from Houston. I've just known him. He came to Houston a couple, play the club in the Laugh Stop in Houston years ago. So I met him then, and we did. I think we did Last Comic Standing together or something.
Yo,
But
why
I've
you don't have,
just always kept in touch with him.
you don't have an accent? Like some Southerners don't have accents. Like you don't really.
I
have
mean,
an
almost everybody from Houston is kind of from someplace else, unless you're like from one of the outskirts cities.
accent.
Kareem,
But also-
doesn't Bob look like he's an assistant coach on a high school football team with the headsets?
How about the team that's going to
college.
win the Super Bowl this year?
He
if
do.
it
He got
happens.
he got the look. He do got the coat and the headpiece.
I grew up in upstate New York from like kindergarten to 10th grade, and I lived in
Oh,
Houston from like 10th grade to
there you go. There
2
you
years
go.
ago. So
So you up to 10. Once you get to 10th grade, you kind of whatever you are, you kind of develop.
I had
somewhat.
like if
Yeah.
you've ever, if you know anybody from upstate New York, I mean, I used to have that kind of an accent, but I don't have any accent anymore. Yeah, believe me, whenever I watch like a TV show or a movie and somebody's from Houston, and they're like, "Hey, y'all, how's it going? I'm from Houston." I'm like, nobody fucking talks like that in Houston.
That's when you was like, "That's not funny. That wouldn't be on the news.
Come on, who talks like
All
that?
right, that's
Who talks like that? You don't talk like that on the news."
You're telling
Yeah.
me this guy masturbated so much that air came out of his wiener? No way.
that would have
Yo,
been
is
on
that-
the news.
Is that a joke? Is that a joke? Because I know what's the name got a joke like that. Jason Andors. Was y'all talking about him?
Yeah, I know Jason Anders. I haven't seen him in years.
Where he
It's
said he masturbated so much that he blew dry his hair or something like. He blew dry his girl hair or something.
I think there's plenty of variations of nothing coming out because you've done it so many times.
Oh,
Uh,
no, my
that-
joke is I have a joke. He's referencing a joke I do about when I was a kid, how
This
there's no
specific
internet.
example, I am, yes,
Yeah.
because he
and-
just talked about it before
and
he
the
got
fact
on.
that like when I was a kid, like you'd be like rubbing your genitals on shit and nothing comes out, and then one day and like the first time something came out, which is actually true, I didn't know what it was. I thought I broke it. I seriously thought like shit, I got to go to the hospital or something.
Okay, when you was a kid, you used to rub your genitals on stuff.
I would hump pillows. I would hump throw pillows. I didn't know what I was
Okay,
doing. There's no
okay,
sexual
okay,
thought.
now, all right, I'll hump the bed too. I'll hump the bed, but when you say it like I rubbed it on stuff, you gotta be.
Yeah. No, I humped
You can't
throw
just be like,
pillows.
I rubbed it on stuff. Like
Yeah.
like the bike in the background. Hold on, y'all. Let me close.
Yeah.
I don't touch anything in Ray's apartment.
Yeah.
'Cause he
Yeah, I
probably
used to
rubbed
hump
it on
throw
him.
pillows.
I
We
wear
all
gloves
hump to throw
I
pillows.
wear gloves and a mask every time I go to Ray's apartment, and I did that before COVID.
Yeah.
You stay protected.
Yeah. Dude, Kareem, we're going to get ready to wrap up just because like we've been on for a while now. But where can people find you? I'm going to plug it at the beginning, man.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Kareem Green 21, and I'm on Facebook at Kareem Green 21. Those are the two places I hang out at. I'm on Twitter also, but I'm mainly on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, the Kareem Green. And also, look, check this out. I see you got those things in the back. I got one of these.
Some
You know what
bobbleheads.
it
There
is?
you go.
You know what
Who's
is?
that?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Tiger Woods, but that's not Tiger Woods. What does
What
it say
is-
on the hat? Pizza?
It says, oh, I don't know what that says. Come on, fellas.
I can't
Is
see
that
what it says.
Tiger Woods?
That's Tiger Woods, right?
No.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's
Running.
Kanye.
There you go. There you go.
It's Kanye?
Yeah, it's a Kanye
Oh,
bobblehead.
okay. Wow. All right.
Wow,
This is,
that's amazing that I actually knew that.
That's
It
probably
says
the
Pablo at the bottom. That's the name of his doing Life of Pablo.
Oh, okay.
One
the
of his
only
albums.
guy to hit a game-winning shot for to win the NBA Finals in Cleveland history, Kyrie Irving. There.
Kyrie Irving.
Wow, you should narrow that fact about him down a little more. Jesus Christ.
All right, man, dude. Thanks so much for hanging, buddy. Nice officially meeting you the other night. And dude, sorry about QED. That sucks.
Hey man, life it is what it is. We go on, man. But thanks for having me on the show, man. And hopefully, I was saying maybe you could find another place and keep it going, bro. You don't break. You bend.
Oh, you know what? I'll look. I'll
You
see if
pivot.
there's something. Yeah.
You
Do it on
pivot.
Rigo's roof.
You know what I'm saying? And you were saying it was selling out too. So there's different places you can do things. You said that was
17
clean.
tickets.
Yeah,
this
it
is
only
another-
seats 20. It only seats 20 people because of the
But-
social distancing, but it was sold
But,
out.
but do you have like a system, like a microphone system and all that stuff?
I do. Yeah.
Yo, they do guerrilla comedy. There's two places they go. I can tell you. There's a place I just did a park, Van Horn Park or something. That's in Brooklyn. It's an amphitheater. Then that's outside. Then there's what's this other place called? Then there's right in front of Brooklyn Museum. They do a show every Monday there. Right in front of Brooklyn Museum, they do a show. So any day in front of Brooklyn Museum and the amphitheater, those are two places you could do a guerrilla show, have people come show up and do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And you don't need no, it's, you just go, set up your shit and start doing it.
Just go and do it.
Yeah,
I hear you, man.
Y'all over here dealing with rules. Come on, man. Having Trump, if anything, y'all should have learned from Trump. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Trumper, but I do learn from everyone. He made the rule. You can do what you want to do, bro. He's a president who's never been in any political faction of nothing, and he's winning. So if you want to do a show in front of Brooklyn Museum or at the amphitheater, do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it, baby. Do it. They're not going to do nothing to you.
I hear you, man.
Just
if they
do
shut
it.
it down, we just leave.
Dude, thanks so much, man, for hanging.
Thanks for stepping up to the G hole.
All right, peace, bud. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Kareem.
Bye,
Bye.
Pablo.